There are moments when continuing on as usual just doesn't feel right. This is one of those moments. The world feels heavy. People are hurting. Some are scared. Some are exhausted. And many of us are quietly wondering, what am I supposed to do with all of this? I've been sitting with that question myself. And this morning, my devotional reading from Jesus Calling stopped me in my tracks. It said, "It is possible to enjoy me and glorify me in the midst of adverse circumstances. In fact, my light shines most brightly through believers who trust me in the dark." And I thought, well, maybe this is the episode. I had season 5 all planned out. I was talking about aging. I just turned 60 in November and full of gratitude, but my heart wasn't there. And in fact, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to continue. I wasn't feeling much of the radiance. There's just been so much in our world. And when I read that this morning, I thought maybe this is what I really need to talk about. Not answers, not fixing, just light, just trust, just presence. Here's what I want to say clearly, especially right now. Radiance is not pretending everything is okay. Radiance is not having the right words. Radiance is not bypassing pain with positivity. Brushing under the rug, pretending nothing is really happening. Radiance is trusting God when things aren't okay. Radiance is staying rooted when the light feels dim. Radiance is choosing gentleness instead of hardening. Radiance is showing up as we are, honest, tender, faithful. If God's light shines most brightly in the dark, that doesn't mean the darkness is okay or chosen. It means God meets us in realities we would never choose. And we are not alone as we move through them. This connects deeply to my word for this year. In fact, there's 2 of them, but the main one is rooted. And then there's blooming. Being rooted doesn't mean we don't feel shaken. It means we still stay connected to God, to truth, to love. And blooming doesn't always look loud or visible. Sometimes blooming looks like staying soft, staying prayerful, staying open, staying kind, even when the world feels anything but. This is where radiant you, pillars, quietly show up. Rest and review, pausing instead of reacting. Release and renew, letting go of control and choosing trust. Refocus and recreate. asking, what is mine to do today? Not everything, just today. Let's pause together for a moment. If God's light shines most brightly in the dark, then ask yourself, where am I being invited to trust instead of understand? What does light look like today? Not at my best, but at my most honest. Who might need my quiet presence more than my advice? You don't need to answer perfectly. You don't need to figure it all out. Just notice what gently rises. Keep hearing the phrase, be a light. And yes, absolutely. But let's be clear about what that doesn't mean. It does not mean carrying the whole world. It does not mean having all the answers. It does not mean exhausting yourself in the name of goodness. Sometimes being a light looks like praying quietly at 7:14. If you follow me on Facebook, you would have seen a share that I did from Eagle Brook Church, one of our most favorite churches in Minnesota. And those that know me, we have family in Minnesota, about 45 minutes from Minneapolis. So yes, when they said, meet this challenge of praying AM or PM, doesn't matter, or both, at 7:14,
Almost every weekend, I get a text message from a friend, someplace in Texas or California saying, "Oh my goodness, what's going on in Minnesota? What's going on in Minneapolis?" And you probably have opinions as to why that is, and I have opinions as to why that is. But here's a verse from the Bible that God has been bringing me to this week. It's from Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood. Our struggle is not against people. We tend to think it is. We tend to think it's politicians, people on the other side, people who just don't understand. We think the battle is primarily against people, but here's what he says. Really, our struggle is against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. That there is a spiritual battle taking place. And we can't see that spiritual battle with our physical eyes. I can't see that battle. You can't see that battle, but we see the effects of that battle. And so, over the course of the last week or so, as I've been reading this verse and reflecting on it, I become convinced there is a spiritual battle over the city of Minneapolis. And as followers of Christ, I would love to show you this verse in Second Chronicles and call you to this. He says, "If my people who are called by my name," that's us, "will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then," he says, "I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and I will heal their land."
heal their
Does our land
land.
need to be healed? Yes,
Yes.
our land needs to be healed. I want to invite you as a church.
Second Chronicles 7:14. Heal the land. So again, sometimes being a light looks like praying quietly at 7:14, checking on one person, listening without fixing, offering compassion instead of commentary. Light doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. A candle doesn't argue with the dark, it just shines. Let me say that again. A candle doesn't argue with the dark, it just shines. The quote from Jesus Calling reminds us God is not waiting for things to improve before he works. He is present here. He is shining now. And your trust, especially when things feel uncertain, matters more than you know. If you're listening today and things feel heavy for you, please hear this. Your staying matters. Your trust matters. Your quiet faith is shining, even if you can't see it yet. You don't need to do more to be radiant. You don't need to do more to be radiant. You are radiant when you remain rooted in love. Take a breath. Let your shoulders soften. And remember, you are not alone in this. Until next time, stay rooted, stay gentle, and keep shining, even in the dark.